I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Monday, November 3rd. Today.
Not only should go to prison for a long time, they should bury you under the prison.
Manitoba's premier pulls no punches while reacting to a Supreme Court decision on child pornography. Also today, arresting development. After only one day on the job, police officers stationed at Health Sciences Center helped make an arrest. Plus, a trick or treat surprise.
I saw this wedding ring sitting in the midst, and I was really surprised.
What one family did when they found a wedding ring in their kid's trick or treat bag. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. A Halloween display in a rural community southeast of Winnipeg has caught the attention of local officials and RCMP. That's because it appears to depict hanging effigies of local politicians. CTV's Harrison Shin joins us now live to explain. Harrison, let's start off with where this happened. Where was this?
Well, Marilee, the figures were displayed on the yard of a home in Saint-Geneviève in the arm of Taché. And the warning, the photo we're about to show you might be upsetting. 5 nearly life-sized person-shaped effigies were seen hanging from nooses below a sign reading in part, "Politics, all tricks, no treats." Now take a look at the legs in this photo. 4 have ward written on them, along with numbers, an apparent reference to specific wards in the RM. Another figure, dressed up in what appears to be a firefighter's uniform, was not on a noose, but was attached to a sign reading, quote, "For sale, our dignity for profit." Last Friday, Premier Wap Kinew said Minister of Municipal and Northern Relations Glenn Simard was reaching out to leadership in Saint-Geneviève, and the province will offer support.
No matter how fired up you are about politics or policy, we got to keep things calm. We got to keep it respectful. You can find a way to articulate your objection, maybe even a personal criticism of a politician such as myself, but we don't need to have a visual or something that is a violent image.
In a statement, the arm of Taché Council said, in part, while freedom of expression is a fundamental right, it must never be used as a pretext to threaten, intimidate, or incite violence against elected officials, emergency responders, government staff, or residents within our communities. The council say they cannot discuss the specifics of the matter.
Harrison, what about RCMP? What are Mounties saying about all this?
Well, Marilee, in a brief statement, the spokesperson tells me they received a handful of complaints about the display, which they say it was taken down yesterday. They add they are not laying any charges at this time. All right. Thanks for this, Harrison. A warning from police tonight about a convicted sex offender who was recently released from prison and is expected to live in Winnipeg. Leslie Wayne McCready, who's also known as Leslie Wayne Brightnose, was released from Milner Ridge Correctional Center Sunday. The 33-year-old was serving a sentence for 2 counts of failing to comply with a recognizance order. McCready has a lengthy criminal record, including convictions for sexual assault, sexual interference, and assault. He's under several probation orders, including having no contact with anyone under the age of 18 and not possessing or consuming alcohol or drugs. Though he's taken part in some treatment, he is considered high risk to reoffend in a sexual manner against all children, particularly females. Police officers stationed at Health Sciences Center helped make an arrest after only one day on the job. Police say an on-duty doctor was assaulted by a patient Sunday morning. Officers who were there for an unrelated matter, along with the new hospital detail, were called in to help security staff. A woman in her 30s is now charged with assault with a weapon. 2 uniformed police officers began patrolling the province's largest hospital Saturday and will offer a 24/7 presence going forward. Manitoba Premier Wap Kinew is joining other premiers in denouncing a Supreme Court of Canada ruling on child pornography, and he's pulling no punches.
Child sexual abuse images and video, this is like one of the worst things that anyone can do. Not only should go to prison for a long time, they should bury you under the prison. You shouldn't get protective custody. They should put you into general population, if you know what I mean.
The High Court last week ruled 1-year mandatory minimum jail sentences for accessing or possessing child pornography are unconstitutional. Conservative politicians all across Canada have demanded Ottawa overrule the decision with the notwithstanding clause. Canoe says he agrees.
I think the average person out there hears an announcement like this and just kind of shakes their head. And this is why our Bill 50 was brought into place, so that, yeah, we can protect people's rights in Manitoba, but there's still the ability for a legislature or parliament to take action. When you hear something like this, it just doesn't make sense to the average person.
Canoe says his government is putting forward a bill, the Constitutional Questions Amendment Act, in an effort to give Manitoba a better legal footing when making constitutional challenges. The province is looking to buy city land in St. Norbert for $1. According to a city report, the province wants to acquire nearly 35 acres next to LeMay Forest, including the surrounding riverbank. The forest was the center of controversy after the developer intended to cut down trees and put an assisted living facility on the site. The plan was met with fierce opposition by protesters in January who blocked access into the forest to stop trees from coming down. In April, the province stepped in and expropriated the forest. It wants to turn the area into a provincial park, but it also wants to buy some city-owned land valued at $400,000 back in 2010. The report doesn't say why the province is offering the city just $1. The city says it doesn't have sufficient information to recommend or decline the sale. The report will be discussed at committee on Friday. The province says hospitals are better prepared to deal with the upcoming flu season than they were just a few years ago. This is the time of year more patients visit emergency rooms with severe flu and other respiratory illnesses. The province says it's added 10 extra ICU beds at various hospitals since April, on top of more than 300 fully staffed beds added since 2023. Despite the added beds, Manitoba wait times are still comparatively high. The health minister says it will take time for the extra resources to bring down wait times.
We're building more capacity. We're seeing the benefits of that in our system. But of course, there's much more work for us to do. So we're going to keep adding beds, adding human resource to the front lines, and making sure that we're moving those wait times in the right direction.
Those most vulnerable to flu complications are older adults, young children, and those with chronic health conditions or weakened immune systems. A community in western Manitoba had its Pride crosswalk vandalized over the weekend. The Souris Pride Committee says the town's rainbow-painted sidewalk was covered with white paint on Halloween. The group tells CTV News it was first painted in 2021 and offers members of the local queer community a sign they're supported. The municipality spoke out against the vandalism on social media, saying damaging community spaces doesn't help anyone.
So to wake up on Saturday morning and find that our symbol of love was destroyed was pretty heartbreaking at first, but we quickly kind of decided that we're going to come back and just fight this with more love and education.
Souris Pride says the crosswalk likely won't be repainted until next summer. RCMP say they're investigating. The Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame is out with its list of this year's inductees.
Baseball is a very passionate sport in our province, has been for many years, and we like to honor our past and ensure our future by recognizing people who've contributed to the sport over the years.
The Hall of Fame recognizes Manitobans who've advanced the sport in our province. This year's class includes 7 individuals. Their names are up on your screen. Many are accomplished baseball players who moved on to coaching, such as Brandon's Nate Andrews or Daryl McElroy from Darlingford. Or they were passionate lifelong volunteers, such as Lorna Robertson from Hamiota, whose service dates back 70 years. Team inductees this year include the Winnipeg South Chiefs AAA Pee Wee Bantam team, who posted an astounding 63-0 record between 2008 and 2010. And going back even a little further, the 1973 Western Manitoba Junior All-Stars are also being inducted for their silver medal winning performance at the Canada Summer Games. The class of 2025 will officially be inducted at a banquet in Morden in June. Tickets are available online. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. All I could talk about all weekend, even this morning, was this wind, Colleen.
I know.
What is going on?
We've been holding on to our hats and everything else we can grab onto over the last few days. What it was an Alberta Clipper system that zipped along, as clippers by their nature tend to do. And boy, did it whip up some exceptionally strong winds across southern Manitoba, particularly in the southwest yesterday. But we saw some pretty strong wind gusts, or more to the point, felt them here in Winnipeg yesterday. But look at these arrows racing across your screen. These are still strong gusting winds in the wake of that low as it's passed us on by. Also, it's been a wet October that's just come to an end. I'll show you just how wet it got in places like Winnipeg and other parts of southern Manitoba coming up. But for now, we need to look through that Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, the winds have died down considerably, just 15 kilometers an hour coming from the west. But that's not what we're seeing on the satellite radar. So it depends where you are. 6 is the temperature in Winnipeg. It's starting to cloud over. The pressure is rising and the humidity right now is 52%. Out in the roads, a live look out onto the St. James Bridge. Very light volumes for folks heading north, but you can see it's quite slow for folks trying to make their way south during the peak of this Monday evening rush.
Thanks, Colleen. A Hollywood actor took in a Winnipeg Jets victory over the weekend. We'll show you who was in the stands at Canada Life Centre. Plus,
I was just shocked at first. You know, you think, is this a toy? Is it fake?
how one Winnipegger ended up receiving a literal gold treat while trick-or-treating. A massive U.S. $48 billion deal will see big brands like Tylenol and Band-Aid change hands. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
Kenvue is a company being bought by Kimberly-Clark. Shares of Kenvue have been dragged down for weeks by Donald Trump's false claim that using Tylenol during pregnancy causes autism. But those shares gained today. Kimberly-Clark will pay a premium for Kenvue. Kimberly-Clark owns brands like Kleenex and Huggies and expects to save $2 billion a year once the deal settles. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.15. West Texas Intermediate crude is up a few cents to 61.05. Western Canadian Select is also up 48 cents to 48.69. And the TSX hardly moved today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
The Southern Chiefs organization held its third annual First Nations Veterans Summit yesterday. Attendees gathered at the Hilton Winnipeg Airport Suites to honor and remember the service and sacrifice of Indigenous veterans. Program manager Justin Woodcock said the veterans are battling injuries both related and unrelated to their service for our nation. He explained SCO offers services in multiple aspects, no matter where they are.
We never turn anyone away. Even if they're non-Indigenous, I'll support any veteran that comes to my office seeking support. I've done trips to many different First Nations, connecting with Chief and Council, informing them about what our program can do to help the veterans in their nation, and connecting with them on a one-on-one basis as well.
Woodcock added the recent passing of Bill 210 is a celebration. Bill 210 formally recognizes November 8th as Indigenous Veterans Day in Manitoba. Well, candy wasn't the only thing that made its way into the candy bag of one trick-or-treater this Halloween.
We were sorting the candy, dumped it all out on the living room floor, and I saw this wedding ring sitting in the midst, and I was really surprised.
Simone Hildebrand Thiessen said she went trick-or-treating with her kids in North Kildonan Friday. The next morning, when they were sorting through the candy, as you heard, she found a men's gold wedding ring in the pile. The Winnipeg mother says she was shocked at first, doubting the ring was real, until she felt its weight. She then made a post to the neighborhood Facebook page to try and find the owner.
I had lots of comments and shares, and then within a few hours, I had someone message me saying, I think this is my brother's. He lives on the street just around the corner, and yeah, he had lost his ring the night before.
She says the ring, which was not photographed in the Facebook post, was returned to its owner yesterday. Coming up, which country and rock icons are coming to Winnipeg this spring? The spotlight is next.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Absolute Britney, a tribute to Britney Spears.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight, and Winnipeggers will soon have the chance to hear from an iconic blues rock band.
That's right, Marilee. George Thorogood and the Destroyers are coming to play at the Burton Cummings Theatre. The American musician behind Bad to the Bone and other hits will play the Burt stage on March 24th. George Thorogood and his longtime Destroyers have performed more than 8,000 shows within the past 53 years. Tickets go on sale Friday through Live Nation.
And speaking of upcoming shows, we have a major concert announcement to share with you today.
That's right. Charlie Major, to be specific, the award-winning artist, will be performing in Winnipeg. Charlie Major is set to perform at Club Region Event Centre on March 6th. The Canadian Country Hall of Fame legend has been lighting up the Canadian country music world since the early 90s. Since then, Major has won 3 Junos, 7 CCMA awards, and sold 500,000 albums. Tickets go on sale Thursday through Ticketmaster.
Well, if you were hoping to act like a chicken in front of your friends and strangers, your chance could be just around the corner.
Here's hoping. The popular and funny hypnotist Ravine has set his mind on doing a show in Winnipeg. Oh, that's a classic. The man they call Ravine. Ravine, the legend continues, has been called the world's funniest and most amazing stage show. The hypnotist is known for bringing audience members on stage for the unique and entertaining show. He will be performing at Club Region on March 7th. Tickets go on sale this Thursday through Ticketmaster.
All right, this next story is pretty cool. A Hollywood actor got to take in a Winnipeg Jets victory over the weekend.
He sure did. John Hamm was spotted at the Jets versus Penguins game at Canada Life Centre on Saturday. The Mad Men star is in town to film the television series American Hostage, which tells the story of a beloved radio reporter who finds himself in the middle of a crisis when a hostage taker demands to be interviewed on his news program. The Winnipeg Jets posted a photo of Hamm holding up a peace sign at Saturday's game on social media. The Jets beat the Penguins 5-2.
Maybe he's good luck. He has to go to all the games while he's shooting here. All right. Thanks, Colleen.
You're welcome. St. Dennis Medical gets your week going at 7. Hit the right note and the high one. With the voice at 8, the weakest link follows at 9, and Tracker wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV. A live look at Confusion Corner. Traffic in all directions, but moving well there. 6 degrees right now and partly cloudy in the city. Winds out of the west. We will take a look at just how soggy it was here in Winnipeg and other parts of Manitoba this past October, coming right up.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, what with all the rain that we've had in southern Manitoba over the last couple of weeks, it got us talking here in the newsroom. Was it record-breaking? Well, yes and no. We'll start with Winnipeg. We got a lot of rain, but it was not the wettest October on record. It was the 6th wettest October on record with almost 94 millimeters, but it was the wettest October since 1984 when we got 99 millimeters, so we have to go back 41 years. Now, by the way, the wettest Octobers on record for Winnipeg, 1898 and 1949, with way more, 144.1 millimeters. However, Sprague, it was the wettest October in that part of the province in the southeast with more than 170 millimeters. Now, you see I've added an asterisk there. Environment Canada telling me earlier today, well, there was one day where they didn't have data for about 7 hours, so that amount could be even higher. Well, you saw Emerson there on the screen. It was the 3rd wettest October. You only have to go back 4 years to the west October for that community, and it was just a razor-sharp difference between those two rainfall amounts. So lots of areas got a good soaking. We're into a new month now, and we're off to a windy and dry start. Lots of sunshine today, but lots of strong winds that continue to come at us pretty strongly out of the west, right into northwestern Ontario, where it is also pretty clear that, and it will remain so at least for now, but in the coming hours, this cloud is going to really build up in the south, clear through central areas, parts of the north, a few flurries popping up there over the course of the night and throughout the day tomorrow. So we lose the sunshine tomorrow to cloudier conditions, sunny through the Interlake and central Manitoba, clearing out overnight as we get into Wednesday, and then back into the sunshine here in the south and across much of the province for the midweek. So we go back and forth between sunshine and clouds for much of the week this week. For tonight, as I mentioned, the clouds will build up. We drop down to 0. As the clouds build, the winds will decrease. They should be much lighter by late evening. Tomorrow, again, a cloudy day after today's sunshine, up to 8 degrees. That's still well above normal. Normal now for Winnipeg is around 2 for early November. Winds considerably lighter as well out of the southwest at 10 kilometers an hour. Back we go into the sunshine for Wednesday, up to 6 degrees, mostly sunny. Now, what you're going to notice next is that the daytime highs are going to start to have minus signs in front of them by the time we get to Friday. But first Thursday, +4, cloudy with the chance of showers. Sunshine returns Friday, but plus temperatures do not. A high of just -2, -3 on Saturday, clouding over with the chance of flurries, and then -3 again on Sunday under a mix of sun and cloud. Let's take a look at our weather photos. Let's look at this beautiful rainbow. This is out in Stonewall. This was yesterday evening out there, not far from Winnipeg. And Holly sent this photo of the iconic water tower out at Winnipeg Beach, of course. Send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The CTV Skywatch Pick of the Day is brought to you by the Manitoba Chiropractors Association. We've got your back.
Dropping to crush. That was one way for Winnipeggers to close out their Hello weekend and deal with leftover pumpkins.
Here, I'll help you push it. 1, 2, 3. My pumpkin.
Compost Winnipeg held its 5th annual pumpkin drop at CF Polo Park. They brought a truck to the ground level of the parkade and asked attendees to gather on the 2nd level to throw their pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns into the truck. Pumpkins will be sorted into 3 categories: 1 fit for human consumption so it can become food, 1 to feed animals, and lastly for compost. Organizers said if you miss the event, it's not the end of it.
You can put it in your backyard bin to keep it out of the landfill, or you can send it to the City of Winnipeg Leaf and Yard Waste. We have 3 official sites, so one at Dakota Community Centre, another at Lindenwoods Community Centre, and the last at Valley Gardens Community Centre, where you can bring your pumpkins as well. Ultimately, keep those pumpkins out of the landfill.
Blackburn said about 3,000 kilograms of pumpkins were collected so far. How fun.
It always looks so satisfying.
It does.
You know, one of these years, we'll have to get out there and
time it right.
Pumpkins.
Yeah, just drop them off the roof of the parkade.
Boom.
All right. That does it for us, but don't go far. We'll be back at 6 o'clock with much more local news. Hope to see you then.